All right. Welcome to the Maximum Edge Sports Wagering Show. My name is John Santucci. Call me Tooch. I got Anthony and G-Dog with me today. We're breaking down Thursday night football, Steelers and Vikings. G-Dog, a big Vikings fan.
Yeah.
You watching the game tonight?
Yeah, I torture myself. I don't know why. I'll be watching them pull ahead and then make it close at the end and F something up to lose.
Yeah, I know. Like that Lions loss was heartbreaking. Anthony and I were on the other end of that one.
Well, it's funny because the Steelers didn't beat the Lions.
No,
the Steelers didn't beat the Lions either, technically. So it's the teams that couldn't beat the Lions bowl.
That's right. For bragging rights. Man, that was heartbreaking to watch for bettors who had the Vikings in that game. You know, just
horrible.
Yeah, even
if it had, at the end was just they had no defense. It's like they let them march straight down the field, and then they played a cushion in the end zone. Like, what the hell are you doing on fourth down? Cushion in the end zone.
I know, and you know, in spite of it all, the Vikings still have an outside shot at the playoffs. They're 5-7, right? If they go 10-7,
Slim's about to leave.
If they need to rattle off 4 or 5 straight victories, it'll be looking better. Anthony, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thursday night, start of the weekend, pretty much. So,
right, light NBA schedule, light college hoop schedule. Getting ready for the weekend. A lot bigger slate tomorrow and Saturday, Sunday. Let's get into the game, man. Steelers, Vikings. They got lines at 3, I think, right now. I think I saw it at 3 just a short while ago. Over under a 43.5. Steelers are 6-5, 5-7 against the spread. Vikings 5-7, 6-6 against the spread. The Vikings at home only 2-3 against the spread, while the Steelers surprisingly on the road 3-2 against the spread. This Steelers team is hard to figure out. In the past, I've always been taught to fade Ben Roethlisberger on the road. Anthony, is that still good advice?
Oh, the last time on the road, he got smoked by Cincinnati, who are frauds. So, I mean, that's the thing. We don't know what to expect out of Pittsburgh. Their last 2 road games was versus Cincinnati and LA, and we know how the LA game finished. They lost. The game before that, they tied with the Lions at home, which, to their defense, they didn't have Roethlisberger that game.
Right.
Cincinnati, they just got smoked. I mean, 1,000%. They did not come and they didn't show up. And then last week, they beat the Bengals at home. I mean, I didn't see that come. I thought the Steelers would cover the 4.5, but I didn't expect them to win. So they need this win, in my opinion, more than the Vikings. Vikings are just too injured. They don't have a future into the playoffs. There are just way too many injuries to prolong to go into the playoffs. The Steelers, they have a much better chance than Minnesota overall when it comes number-wise, percentage-wise. I'm on the Steelers today, and I think they win outright today. And I'm going to give you a small statistic that I found out today. So the last 10 times the Vikings lost to the Lions, the following week, they're 1-9 straight up.
All right. Well, I don't know what to make of the Steelers.
It has
team.
nothing to do with anything. They might as well had polka dots on their helmets and dance in circles. Like those trends.
G-Dog.
I like the statistic. I like trends.
G-Dog. The Vikings have a lot of a few key guys are out today. Left tackle Christian Darrisaw is out, and Adam Thielen is out. Everson Griffin is out. Dalvin Cook is questionable. Any news on whether or not he's going to play, and how do you think that affects the Vikings tonight?
Madison's an ample fill-in in that regard. You know, you have Conklin, which is obviously a target for him. You got Justin Jefferson. The Steelers are prone to giving up big plays, so I expect Justin to have a big night again. I mean, he went off on Sunday against the Lions, but I think he'll have another big game. You know, it really hurts not having Thielen down there, but, you know, they got ample guys to plug in there. So, We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If they get close enough instead of getting to the 10-yard line and running it 2 or 3 times. Stupid.
I expect Justin Jefferson to have a huge game tonight.
Coach.
He has to have a big game. He's the only receiver.
Been a Vikings
When
fan
you
my
think
whole
about
life.
it, he's the
sucks.
only receiver.
I have a major opinion in this. It's hard to be objective in this case, man.
Well, it looks like majority of the bets on the Steelers, but majority of the money on the Vikings against the spread.
Yeah, that has me scared too. A lot of public on there. That's a lot
of public on the money.
When it gets to be that heavy, I look the other side usually. But I don't know. This particular game, it's a toss-up. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, you got TJ Watt back. You have Dillashaw out. You have those guys. That's a key blind side. They're going to have to double team him, obviously. Steelers defense has been sporadic. I mean, look what happened against the Bengals 2 weeks ago. And then this last week, they look like freaking, killers. It's so tough, the NFL. It's like, they had that big game. They had that big comeback against the Chargers. That 3-2 against the spread record is, questionable. Obviously, they came back from way down. I mean, I got lucky on that one. I had the Steelers against the spread, but it's like one of those things where it's just been the Vikings they've led every game this season, I think, by 7 at one point, and then they have that crappy record. It's just like they can't close. And that all comes down to coaching and, it's just, and that goes back years and years, way before Zimmer, and you had all these other idiot coaches, Leslie Frazier and whatever else. I mean, just terrible. Dennis Green even got too conservative for himself in '98. It's like, have a killer instinct and put the game away. I mean, look what Belichick did to the Bills the other night. Just rammed it down their throat, man. Just rushed it and rushed it and rushed it. And
dropped back to throw 3 times.
Couldn't do nothing to stop it. They would have never scored if they didn't get that turnover.
Speaking of Leslie Frazier,
glare of hope that they had in that whole game, the whole thing was terrible. So
Leslie Frazier, defensive coordinator of the Bills, too.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
Popped up in Bears head coaching candidate rumors.
I saw that
Leslie
today.
Frazier
I was going to
did.
mention that. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these guys? These guys obviously don't have good.
Former
good
Super Bowl
coordinators.
Bear.
They're not good coaches. Look at Romeo Crennel and Charlie Weiss. Like all these guys, they suck. They're
great,
terrible head coaches.
Terrible head coaches, great defensive coordinators.
I mean, Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was so bad they already let him go in New York.
I see it's up to 3.5. Does that extra half-point hook there, Anthony, make the Steelers a little more appealing? If you think it's a close game, you'd like to have that in your back pocket, 3 in the hook. What do you think?
Oh yeah, by far. I mean, like I said, the Steelers are going to win outright, so you don't even need the points.
How about
the
total?
Steelers will win outright. He doesn't care. If you're betting on the Vikings, I don't think. I mean, it's either going to be a 1 or 2 point win, or it's going to be a touchdown win. It's not going to be.
Oh,
3.
for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I agree. If the 3.5 is probably the safest play by far, but my prediction is Steelers win outright. I just think the Vikings are just too hurt. Kirk Cousins is 8-16 straight up in prime time. I mean, going with Big Ben. I'm taking my chances with the Steelers.
How about the total, G-Dog? Any thoughts on the total? Sitting right there at 44 now.
I kind of like the over actually in this one.
I do too. I think there's some
but the money
offensive
on the
firepower.
line is. I mean, the money tickets are split pretty much 50-50 right down the middle on both sides. So there's no indicator on that. The Vikings can score. I mean, the Steelers obviously can score. So, they came back and had that valiant comeback against the Chargers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Vikings don't have any problems putting up points at all. They can't hold a lead.
Right. No, when you think
they have a defense the defense is, it's almost like they say, here, come on, go on by. Please go on by.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't block anybody. They don't guard anybody. They don't tackle anybody. I mean, the defense is atrocious. You saw what the Lions did. The Lions had their way with them. I mean, my gosh, it was just awful. Awful.
You're cribbing from my notes because I was usually when you think of a Mike Zimmer team, you think defense, him being a defensive-minded coach. But the Vikings defense ranked 30th in the league. just has not, like you said, the second half they can't stop it. The Bears are in the same boat. Second half they can't stop anybody. Steelers have offensive playmakers. Najee Harris, really good offensive playmaker. Deontay Johnson, good offensive playmaker. Pat Freiermuth at tight end. It just depends on if Ben Roethlisberger has the time to throw and can get the ball to him. And then the other side, Kirk Cousins has been lighting it up as well. Justin Jefferson, Tyler Conklin, all those guys you mentioned, Alex Madison and KJ Osborne. I lean over in this one. I don't think it's that high of a number. I think this game should be right around 47, 48 to 50 around there. Looking at 28, 21.
Well, look at the Lions game last week.
27.
They score. They get in a lot of high-scoring games. That's the problem.
Yep. All right. Any last thoughts, Anthony, before we give out a free play and get out of here?
The dog of the day.
We got a dog of the day. Oh my! Do we have the banner loaded up? All right. Here we go. All right, Steelers plus 3.5 dog of the day. We're giving away a free play too. I think we got a free play sitting somewhere out there. All right, let's give away a free play. All right, we're going back to the prop bet well, Anthony. You talked me into it. Greg Joseph.
1-0 in our last one.
If we go 1-0, we're going out on top. Greg hates prop plays, but here we go. Greg Joseph over 1.5 field goals. Man, I don't know. I think there'll be plenty of field goals in this one. So the
Steelers had the third best red zone defense in the league. So, I mean, with the injured Vikings offense with only one real receiver besides Conklin, I mean, I think 2 field goals is very, very doable. I say the Vikings get a field goal before going into halftime and 1 or 2 throughout the game. So I think this hits easily.
All right. Well, we are back here tomorrow, Friday at 5:30. We will see. We'll be talking. What are we talking tomorrow? We got college hoops. No football yet.
Army-Navy game.
We might be back Friday.
I'm sorry. I didn't forget. I thought Army-Navy
might be back Saturday. We might be back Saturday instead of tomorrow. That's tomorrow?
All right. Army-Navy tomorrow, Greg?
No.
Saturday.
No.
Saturday.
Okay. All right.
The game is Saturday. You can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. You are right on. We will we'll post notice accordingly. All right, fellas. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow or Saturday. Thanks again.
Sounds good.
And I'm the team captain. He's the preview, and I'm the main attraction.
Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible. Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible.
Invincible hustle, mighty desire to conspire, to transpire, to be